This is Miriam Dunn reading Believing in Becky, a mother-daughter ghost story by Tessie Lamore. Believing in Becky. Darcy remembered her mum's cheerful laugh, her easy smile, and the way she would hug Darcy when anything was too hard in school or with friends. She had to work hard to remember, though, because ever since Daddy went off on a business trip with his secretary and didn't come back, her mom didn't do much besides stare out the window. When Darcy heard they were moving to a new house, a ramshackle cottage down a dirt road, she was sad. For about 30 seconds. Mostly, she hoped that being somewhere new would bring her mom back. It even did, a little bit. But soon, the light went out of her mother's eyes again, and Darcy was all alone. Well, alone except for the ghost. They'd been in the new house for a few weeks before Darcy saw the ghost for the first time. She was reading, or looking at pictures, really. Her mom used to help Darcy with the words, but not anymore. When Darcy looked up from a picture of a knight on a horse, somebody stood near the fireplace in the corner. Darcy jumped and ran over, but nobody was there. The next day, Darcy kept checking nervously until she caught a glimpse of someone peeking in while she was playing with dolls. It looked like a girl her age, but even though Darcy ran, there was nobody in the hall. This went on for a while, and Darcy almost told her mom, but didn't want to worry her. One day, Darcy thought she saw the girl out of the corner of her eye, but instead of moving, she sat very still and looked away. After a couple of minutes of carefully not looking, she said, "I can see you, you know." There was a whoosh of air, but when Darcy looked over, the girl wasn't there. The next day, Darcy tried again, waiting and then speaking. "You're not fooling me," she said to the girl, but without looking in her direction. "I know you're there." She heard a sound, but it wasn't the same whoosh. It sounded like a faint whisper. "You're going to have to speak louder," Darcy said. "Are you sure you can see me?" asked the whisper. "Sure, I'm sure," Darcy said. She peeked, but didn't turn her head, and could see the outline of a girl leaning toward her, but clearly a shy girl. "I wasn't really... I... I didn't know if I was real," said the girl, her voice a little louder but still faint. "Of course you're real," said Darcy, "or else I couldn't see you." She turned her head a little more, and the girl backed up, but didn't disappear. Darcy could see right through her, so she knew the girl was a proper ghost, not somebody pretending. "Nobody has seen me for a long, long time," the girl said, her voice sad. "I thought maybe they were right, and ghosts didn't exist." Darcy thought about that, but didn't have anything to say. "Would you like to read with me?" she said. "Oh, could I?" asked the girl eagerly. "I can't turn pages, though." "That's okay, I can turn them," said Darcy. "But I'm not very good at reading, so I mostly look at the pictures." "Oh," said the girl, "I love to read, or I did, back then." There was a pause, and neither girl spoke. Sometimes it's better not to talk about the past. "Wait, I have an idea," said the girl. She swooped over to Darcy and perched near her, though when she brushed Darcy's leg, all Darcy felt was a cold draught. "How about you try to read, and I can help you? I'm sure you can, and then we can read together." She sounded so eager, Darcy promised she would try. So they began, and for the next hour, and for an hour or two every day, Darcy and the girl read books. The girl told Darcy her name was Becky, but wouldn't say anything about how long she'd been a ghost. When Darcy asked, she just shivered and suggested they read aloud to each other. Pretty soon, Darcy was reading almost as well as Becky. One evening, Darcy was reading a passage of The Wizard of Oz aloud, and the two girls were laughing, when suddenly Darcy's mother walked in. Darcy and Becky froze as she stopped and stared at them. Darcy shrank inside, afraid of what her mum might say about Becky. But when her mum spoke, it was to say, "Darcy, you're reading! You're really reading!" She broke into tears and ran over and embraced Darcy, her arm going right through Becky's body. "I'm so sorry, Darcy. I stopped believing in us, that we would be okay without your daddy, but it's going to get better, I promise." Darcy started crying with her mum. "I believe in you, Mum," Darcy said. "Thank you, sweetie," said her mother, "and I believe in you too." She stopped for a moment and then said, "Sometimes it isn't easy to believe in yourself. Sometimes it helps if somebody else believes in you too." Darcy looked at Becky and grinned, and they both started to laugh. Thank you for listening. You can find more stories by Tessie Lamore on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other online bookstores.